This is a Hot Pie Original.
The headline is spreading like crazy, and it's going to get a lot of play. Already is. I suspect once this is thrown around, it's going to get a lot of play over the next 48 hours, if not longer. I mean, it may last longer than that. And I'm going to be asked, probably as a talk show host, no, as a guest is what'll happen. I'm a terrible guest, awful. I'm the worst guest you can have. I tell people up front, you sure you want to talk to me about this? Are you sure? I'm terrible. I'm boring. It's not going to work. But I'm sure I'm going to be asked a dozen times today to say, what do you think? Is it going to happen? The answer is yes, it can happen. It can. Barely. No. I'm going to have a hard time not saying it won't. But can it happen? It can. Will it happen? I'm sorry. That's really, really doubtful. Let's go through a few quick questions here just to sort of prime everybody for what is going to be built up excitement. Then, of course, I'm going to cut the legs out from under the entire discussion. But let's do it. Quick answers. Ready? What area of the country is still known for its bison population? You know this. Most people around the country don't know this. You're probably staring at one off Mopac right now. Central Texas. Huge bison population. I like bison. You ever been close to one? It's like a giant furry VW bus. They're really cool. The greatest Buffalo Bill of all time. We have a couple tie-ins here, but the greatest Buffalo Bill of all time. Not Jim Kelly, not Thurman Thomas, and I have a great Thurman Thomas story. But no, the greatest Buffalo Bill of all time also has a show on the Hot Pie Media platform, and of course is moving here. That should be an indicator.
Hey, Twitter world, yours truly.
So it's all building up. Jeff, it's all making sense. The dots are connecting. The money makes perfect sense. What's your problem, man? What's funny about this and the buildup and the fact that this is just, I think, intentionally spreading like wildfire, but let's have fun with it. What's funny is that there are a few places in this entire country that could care less about having an NFL franchise than the Austin area. It really doesn't matter to you. There are places around, and there's the story, but there are plenty of places around the country where it means a lot. Hey, look, it would be fun. It would be cool. Certainly be good for my business. But there are a few places that really would operate perfectly fine with or without and could care less one way or another. So Yahoo News, among others now, and it's going to be everywhere. So you can prepare yourself. And if you just want to jump all in and say, I'm so excited by this, I'm going to buy some bison stuff. I'm going to paint my bison in the backyard. I'm going to shave some bison. Whatever you want to do, just go with it. I don't want to have to break the bad news to you. I don't want to be the one that undercuts the entire thing. I'd prefer for this to happen. But I can't play dumb. Among others, Yahoo News, and it's you find a news site, and it's on there, and it's one of probably the first 3 or 4 stories. It says, report, Austin Bills, ? Texas City mentioned as possible for team relocation. In the initial report, which indicated the Bills wanted taxpayers to front the entire cost of a new stadium, it was said that ownership made note to local government that other cities would pay big money to have the NFL team relocate. Okay, there's plenty of history, that's for sure. We've got our dumb friends down the road have fallen for this a few times. Those idiots will build a stadium for anybody and let it sit there. So we've got plenty of history. But let's of course let Jeff build this up. I actually know this stuff. I taught a class about this one time, so I'll try to summarize fairly quickly. This Texas city, of course, is home to Elon Musk and Baby Pi R Square, the most expensive city hall in the entire United States, probably the most elaborate library in the United States, probably a lot of wealthy white people. They're everywhere, right? More hipsters per capita than any place in the entire country other than Boulder, probably. Militant Green City Council that is now as corporate friendly as humanly possible. This city once had an alligator named Charlie sitting out front, baking in the heat. So, this city is going to be this question over and over and over again around the country. The ownership of the Buffalo Bills, that's what I said, has floated Austin as the team's new home. Okay. If we were San Antonio, the freak out would start and you would already be building a stadium and say, screw it, take my money. Do it. Oh, God, we got a team. But you're Austin and you're thinking, I could care less. Whatever, man. Move out of the way. I'm driving my Tesla. Okay. So all the reasons, this is why the calls are going to come that I probably won't answer and say, but Jeff, we've heard that you know this stuff. You once taught this stuff. So give us all the reasons why it's going to happen. Okay, I'll do it. I would first caution you how you read this story, but I think it might be too late. Is Austin desired by every professional sports league? Yes, of course. No doubt. All the reasons why it could happen, he would say, but I don't get it, Jeff. I mean, if a team can, if Oakland can lose a signature franchise because of economics and the team moves to Vegas, why couldn't Buffalo, because of economics, end up moving to Austin? Yes. The data says yes. The demographics say yes. All the money says yes. If you don't know the money in this area, well, first of all, you're crazy. Look at the home prices. I don't know. Look at Q2 Stadium. You can sell $12 margaritas to a zero-score soccer game every night of the week. You can sell skyboxes to a team that never scores goals every night of the week. Every economic piece of information you would ever want is right here. I've never been to Buffalo, and I'm never going to go, but I suspect it's like Waco with snow. Who the hell wants to do business there? Who wouldn't want to be here? It makes perfect economic sense. Austin exceeds Buffalo and probably most other NFL cities in every economic indicator. Whatever you sell a skybox for, if you could even sell them in Buffalo, that's 3x in Austin, maybe 5x in Austin. Hell, maybe 10x in Austin. Whatever local media rights fees, whatever beer sales, margaritas, shirt sales, just keep going down the list of whatever you can sell, and it's 3 to 10x in Austin. Got it? Ownership would double their money. And the networks would love the demographics of Austin. Every measurable makes perfect sense. Strong corporate base, desirable demographics, and most importantly, underline this one, this is what matters at the end of the day to an ownership group: income. The ability to spend money on stuff, entertainment dollars. That is the indicator. That's what you're chasing. That's what you're looking for. In Buffalo, the dude paying $3 for a corn dog is scratching and clawing. In Austin, Texas, it's $15 for a margarita, and it's nothing. The money's here. The demographics are here. Every indicator would tell you to make the move. That MLS franchise that's here that cannot score a goal, may not score a goal the entire year at the rate they're going. They may score 3 for the entire season. They may not score 3 more for the next 10 years. It doesn't matter. There's money sitting in the middle of money that wants to go out and have some cocktails and have a good time. Corporations that want to spend the money, that have the money, it's all there. In Buffalo, Waco, and snow, not so much. So it's all about the money, right, Jeff? It should be, but it's not going to be. All right. So I'm not going to sit here. If I will bore people when they ask about data and stuff like that, how it makes perfect sense. The ownership group of Buffalo, look, I don't know what that play. Again, I can only imagine that it's like Waco with just a bunch of snow, a lot of fat people in the snow, nothing going on. It's got to be a terrible place to do business. You look down the road, this MLS franchise, you've got the ownership group of Buffalo. Look at that going, are you kidding me? Look at that. Look at that place. They just throw around money. Let's go there right now. Let's go. They got bison down there, don't they? They like Buffalo. They're not going to harm the buffalo. The buffalo can roam around the area. There's buffalo all around the domain. Makes perfect sense. Let's go. San Antonio did it. They got some stadium stuff and some more taxpayer stuff and more. Hell, they're probably starting to build a stadium right now just hearing about this. God, let's build something. Maybe someone will play here. No. Not right now. In fact, the idea is almost laughable. Not happening. Sorry. I wanted that. It'd be cool. By the way, it's a really good team, too. They might score more than Austin FC. So, listen, there's a bunch of reasons why it won't happen. There is something to it. There is something to the economics of it. There is something to the story. But I think the story is really just trying to play. Let's use San Antonio as an example. If you don't know this, I will give you my economic philosophy on this. There are plenty of things you can talk about taxpayer dollars being used for. And this is coming from a guy who once railed against building a library. I was called anti-reading. I was so against using money to build a library. I said, that's a stupid idea. You know what? Building a library, building an expensive city council, building a homeless shelter, practically building anything with taxpayer money is smarter than taxpayers giving a wealthy person money for a stadium. I think it might be the most idiotic thing that taxpayers do. I can't think of a greater disconnect than taxpayers increasing the asset value for a billionaire and getting nothing in return. I can't think of a dumber example. And right now, I suspect what's happening to the poor people of Buffalo. Again, I don't know you. I never want to know you. I never want to go near you. I suspect what's happening to the poor people of Buffalo is the very idiotic thing the poor people of San Antonio fall for all the time. That is, a team, let's build them some stuff. It is asinine. It's an asinine thing to do. The taxpayer gets nothing in return. Underline it. It's studied. You don't get anything back. That being said, people of Austin are not going to build this dude, this family, this husband and wife team. I don't even know who the ownership group is. I don't blame them for selling it. And I don't doubt for a second that they're going to get what they want. What they want is, you people, you don't give me this. You don't build this for me. I'm taking my team to cool Austin. Aha, take that. It's cooler than Austin. It's cooler than Buffalo. And then probably before long, some sorry scumbag politician will seize the day and say, please, taxpayer, do it. And some stupid taxpayer will do it. It's just a play. It's just a play. I mean, it's a smart play. I'd do the same thing. I'd leverage myself any way I could to get stupid people to maximize the value of my asset while I'm assuming zero risk. Think about that formula for a second. It's done around this country all the time. The poor people of Vegas just did it, and then they got hit by a pandemic. Ask them how that's working out. You make someone else rich, and they assume zero risk. That's what loans are for. So what's happening, and I'll give you all the reasons why, the laughable reasons why this won't happen, but what is happening is exactly what San Antonio fell for countless times. You know that tractor pull thing that's out there in San Antonio where there might be a high school game every now and then, the Alamo Dome? You know that place? You go see a Slayer concert, maybe a tractor pull or 10. Those people who fell for it. Ooh, you're going to get a team. If we were that dumb, if Austin cared that much, if we were Waco, we'd go, oh my gosh. And there'd be politicians lining up right now to say, get him state. Where can we go? Knock down that homeless shelter and let's build this guy a stadium. Let's go. Let's go. Let's get some buffalo running around here and let's get some taxpayer dollars and let's build it for him. Hurry, hurry, hurry. That's what would happen. So All the reasons, so there's the practical reason why. One, this city doesn't care. Now, I will say this, that as this starts to build up and it starts to get more play, if your answer is, yeah, but Jeff, I mean, it's going to be built in New Braunfels, or it's going to be built in Georgetown, or it's going to be built in, some suburban area where apparently those taxpayers are stupid enough to do it. You're a fool to build a rich man a stadium. You are a fool. Just telling you. If that hurts your feelings, I don't care. Someone needs to tell you you're a fool. You got better things to do with your money than make someone else rich. But is it entirely possible that a suburban area would do it? Absolutely. It will not happen in Austin. Got it? The taxpayer will not do this. Not anytime soon. Don't need it. Don't need it. First of all, it doesn't give you anything. There's no return. There's no return. All the data says there's no return. I don't care what Chamber of Commerce people say or political hacks. They don't know. They're just selling you. So there's no return. So it's not built in Austin. Is it this idea that, God, San Antonio will fall for this too. We'll build it halfway between Austin and San Antonio. And that way everybody gets something. There might be a suburban voter dumb enough to go for that. There might be. I'm not going to deny. There may be a politician or two, not in the city of Austin, but surrounding areas. There may be a politician or two saying, we could do this. I'm not denying that. I'm going to tell you, you're a fool if you go for it. Wherever you are, whether you're in New Braunfels, nothing sounds better than the New Braunfels Bill Bisons or something. Or Georgetown, wherever you are. Someone will say it. Someone will suggest it. Is that a possibility? Maybe. And then there's an old man that's going to stop it. Yeah. Okay. So first of all, Austin's not going to build it. Suburban areas might. San Antonio's not going to get it. Those poor people are going to start ramping up the conversation again. Oh, yeah, well, Austin does what? They don't care, but we do. Here, let's build you something. Let's tear down the Alamo and build something. They're not going to get jack. Not happening. So there's another reason why it won't happen. As long as Jerry Jones still has a pulse, and it may not be much of a pulse right now, okay? As long as he has a pulse, what's not going to happen? He's not going to lose the Texas market. You understand that? That old man is not going to let it happen.
There is less pie left, make no bones about it.
I know he's 105, and I know he doesn't make any sense anymore. I know that his face is plastic. I know all the things you want to say about him, good and bad. But as long as he thinks that franchise, that mediocre, extremely lucrative franchise in Arlington, as long as that thing is, he believes it has his family's name on it, not happening. No way. Whatever political clout that needed to be gathered, Dan Patrick will be wearing shoulder pads and a Cowboys helmet by the time Jerry Jones is done with him. Will not happen. He dies and his kids decide to cash out. Might happen. But as long as there's a Jones, that old man thinks that franchise is staying in his family, and I think he thinks that, and I think it's probably true, there is not going to be a franchise within a few hundred miles of him. You know that. Well, how can he decide, Jeff? Well, let me give you a little legal history of the NFL. Actually, part of it involves Donald Trump. The NFL, like a lot of sports leagues in this country, Major League Baseball as well, it goes back to a court case in the 1920s, actually is exempt from antitrust. So the NFL, Major League Baseball, and professional sports leagues are a protected, frankly, illegal cartel. You just don't get to pick up your franchise and go anywhere legally. So you can't just bail out of that fraternity, just like you can't jump into that fraternity without the approval of the ownership groups. And there is still, and it may be quiet, it may be elderly, it may be weird, but there is still no bigger voice than Jerry Jones within that cartel. It is actually a legally protected cartel. You could not run, well, you shouldn't run any other business like this, which you're legally protected to do in professional sports. There was an attempt to blow that concept up. It was done by Donald Trump, who was such a fool then that he was running a franchise in what was a startup league, the USFL. He decided to take on the NFL, got crushed in the process. We should have known more about Trump then because it was such a stupid move. So it is a protected cartel that can control its own. There is no more powerful group of people than the owners in the NFL. There is no more powerful voice than the last name of Jones. No way. And you wouldn't give it up either. You would not allow somebody right down the road. You're not going to lose that fan base. You're not going to lose that viewership. You're not going to run any risk to lose what you've built up. Okay? Won't happen. Won't happen. Not to mention, there's this other powerful force. Oh, I don't know. It has something called the Permanent University Fund. I don't know. It's that thing that just decided to go to the SEC. You know, those giant stadiums, the jumbotrons, bubble stadiums. You know, one of the most wealthy sports franchises in the United States. That would be the University of Texas. You think they want to give up those skybox sales too? You don't think they matter? You don't think they have a voice? You don't think there's real power there? They just steamrolled the Texas legislature and bailed on the Big 12 and killed it off. You don't think Jerry Jones and that gigantic monster that is the University of Texas wouldn't say, hi, no. Answer, no. Take you and your OJ. We love you. You're great. You've reinvented yourself. Congratulations on the new show. You're welcome to live here and play golf as much as you. Not happening, OJ.
Hey, Twitter world, yours truly.
No. I mean, no. There's two big no's. There's two voices that matter as much as anybody. Now, for it to happen, I'll tell you the way it can happen, the way it can politically happen, legally happen, and that is, and not that anyone cares or wants them, but I mean, it's Houston. I mean, Houston Texans could come here and call themselves Buffaloes or something, but no one cares about that. I don't even know if they're playing anymore. Does anyone know? Are they still open? Are they still in business? No. The Texans could move to Monterey. The Texans could move to Mexico City. The Texans could move to Cancun. And then it's entirely possible there could be an Austin franchise, NFL franchise. Even then, I think it's doubtful. That political force is just that internal NFL force that is Jones and the University of Texas is almost going to be impossible to defeat. Now, add to it the most important element of all that says no, and that is the NFL doesn't need it. Notice how when the NFL moves, it moves to places where it doesn't have, where it's not. It needs a market. It doesn't need it wants the Austin market, but it's already got it with Dallas. That's what Jones is going to tell the NFL, and Jones is going to tell the NFL is going to tell Jones, if he can hear, he's got a hearing aid. Hey, Jerry, it's okay. You got him. Austin's yours. Don't worry about it. Huh? Yeah, whatever. Have some soup. So the NFL is saying, well, what do we need Austin for? I mean, all it's going to do is just you can sell some skyboxes. The owner makes money. The way the NFL works is as a cartel, everybody gets the TV money. Everybody gets merchandising. To appreciate the economics of the NFL, the Green Bay Packers, without a fan that I know of, without very many fans in the seats last year, before everything else was totaled up, they pocketed almost $400 million in TV money just on that alone. That's not even counting anything else. So almost $400 million just in TV money is spread out amongst everybody. So owners already have that money. So they're looking for places where they can make extra pocket money. It comes from skyboxes, beer, parking, local media, blah, 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 blah. So you always want to build a new stadium because that's your new pocket money wherever you go. But the NFL doesn't. The NFL, the TV networks are saying, we kind of got Austin. We got Dallas holds Austin. Dallas carries Austin. So we don't really need that. Let's go find someplace, a market where we need. That's why Oakland goes to Vegas. They don't need Oakland. They got it. So you don't need the redundancy of these markets. So that's why it won't happen. Is that boring you? You want to talk about bills roaming around? You want to talk about bison roaming around? Not happening. It's just it's probably a political play, although I try to get out of Buffalo myself. And if I were trying to have the ultimate leverage of the ultimate successful city right now, it is the buzz city of all buzz cities. In every way, any one of us would use Austin. We'd throw it out there. This dude from Buffalo, whoever he is, hell, he may even live here. He may live in a condo downtown. But whoever this is, they're just throwing out the phrase of the day. Austin. Well, I'm going to Austin too. Everyone else is there. Let's go. I'll take my team there too. So it is the ultimate economic success story to use as leverage because they could build it down there. Look at them. They're throwing around money at soccer games. They'll throw it around for the Buffalo Bills. So I think this is a headline that is doing exactly what the ownership group wants, and that is everyone talking, everyone threatening, and the poor, I don't know that they're stupid. If they build this guy a stadium, they're stupid. They'll probably end up being stupid enough. And I don't know what's going on in Buffalo. You need some sanding trucks or some shovels or something more than you need to build this man a stadium. I suspect he's going to get his wish. It's just a political play. I'm sorry. In the famous words of Kenneth Copeland, the great Reverend, it's not happening. I want OJ here. I want to see OJ highlights. I want to pet some buffalo. We want to do all that stuff, but you don't care. It doesn't matter, and you are just economic fodder to trick some poor people in probably a pretty awful place. Hey, every guy can relate to this. You're tired of wearing those baggy cotton shirts that feel like you're wearing curtains. There's a difference. In fact, I'm wearing the difference. That is the ultra premium basics from goodlifeclothing.com. You'll love the shirts. I've been searching for a long time, like every guy, for the perfect lightweight shirt that looks good if you're in pretty good shape. It's at goodlifeclothing.com. Check them out. You'll see the difference for yourself. You'll feel the difference for yourself. It's the perfect shirt for this time of year in Austin, Texas. So, two things. Go to goodlifeclothing.com. You get a 20% discount if you enter the promo code JeffWard20. That's goodlifeclothing.com. Enter the promo code JeffWard20 or stop by their store domain Northside. You'll love the difference. You'll feel the difference. It's the perfect fit for a guy that's in good shape. It's goodlifeclothing.com, promo code JeffWard20, or stop by their brand new store at Domain Northside. What are your political heroes at the Capitol going to do? What can your political heroes at the Capitol really do? The problem is real. I'm not even sure it's fair to say the intent is not sincere. It's still going to take you back to the question, what exactly can they do? The Texas Senate has pivoted away from even attempting to keep Texas in the Big 12. That's done. That's over. The governor was paying no attention whatsoever. So that's it. It's over. That deal is done. There was no political pushback. There was no political interest. Now there's a I wouldn't say a more interesting and sexy problem. There's now a realistic problem. And I'm not going to be so skeptical that they don't care, because I think they do care, and I think that's a legitimate issue. I just don't know what they're going to do. And I don't think they know either, except sit around and whine. So the problem is this. What do you do with the economies, I guess if we want to, the economies of the towns, cities of the schools left? And I'm not going to argue that they're not going to pay a price. The Texas Senate, it's reported now, has scheduled a hearing today, by the way, on the future of college sports for the state's Big 12 schools. Representatives from TCU, Texas Tech, Baylor, and Texas, I think they sent someone just to be nice, And the Big 12 are expected to speak during the hearing with Senator Jane Nelson, shockingly a Republican from Flower Mound, serving as the chair. So that's supposed to happen this afternoon. And they're going to get together. They're going to point out all the obvious things. Oh, man, this hurts. Now the communities, it's reported, in Fort Worth, Lubbock, and Waco. Write every joke you want. Go ahead, write them. Face losing hundreds of millions in economic impact. The Perryman Group evaluated two scenarios in which the Big 12 remains intact without high-profile programs of Texas and Oklahoma, or if the schools end up in a non-power conference. The Big 12 staying intact would result in a total annual loss in the three communities of $398 million in annual gross product and 5,322 jobs. Okay, I'm not going to argue the numbers. If teams end up in lesser conferences, the combined loss would be $569.1 million in annual gross product and 7,615 jobs. I don't know if there are 7,615 jobs in Waco. There's 7,000 fast food jobs. So bottom line is today they're going to have all this data that says this is going to suck for Lubbock, Fort Worth, and Waco. And then the Senate's going to go, man, this sucks for Lubbock, Fort Worth, and Waco. Huh. What are we going to do? I don't know. It just sucks for Lubbock, Fort Worth, and Waco. So what do? I think it's kind of sad because I think about what's going to happen, and the waving of the arms is going to be sad. Officials from TCU and Baylor have already discussed coming together as a trio and packaging itself to another power conference such as the Pac-12. Oh, this is sad. See, this is where it gets sad. A league might think about this, everyone. I know this is probably not going to penetrate the committee today. And because they're going to be, oh, woe is me. I can't believe our big brother did this to us. And look, what are we going to do now? We can't sell as much beef jerky and cigarettes. What are we going to do? So they're going to basically try to make, once they've digested all the numbers and figured out this sucks, they're going to try to make a plan to come together to wave their arms in another conference. Let me ask you something. A league made up of Los Angeles, Denver, Seattle, Portland, San Francisco, and Phoenix now needs Waco? Really? Would you like to sell that one to me? Because I'm having a hard time with that one. I know what they want. I mean, I don't blame Waco for saying, we got to do something, man. We got a stadium, and we got 17,000 fast food restaurants, and we need some customers. Where are they going to come from? They need to come from out of town. We need those Los Angeles fans to come to Waco to eat at one of our 17,000 fast food restaurants. Or Lubbock. Do you think anyone from LA would go to Lubbock? They would look out the plane window and said, please don't touch down. Let's get out of here. The bigger problem once this committee is finished, and I hate to say this, is they don't offer anybody anything. Not the Pac-12. I don't know what I'd be willing to listen if I was the Pac-12. I'll take the phone call. I'll do the Zoom. And I'm going to say, yeah. Wait, we need Waco for what reason? We don't even know where that is. That is a league made up of, this is why I thought that it would be a better fit for Texas to be in the Pac-12, because you are these giant television markets, like-minded schools, giant successful academic institutions, and it's Seattle, Portland, Denver, San Francisco, LA. I can't imagine them saying, come on in, Waco and Lubbock. We'd love to have you. Add so much. That's where this committee is going to end up. I mean, they're going to sit around and talk about all the terrible things that are coming their way, all the job losses, which I think is probably BS, but whatever. All the lost economic impact. And at the end of today, once you've had this woe is me moment, you got to try to figure out how to make yourself marketable. And that's going to be the sad part. It's sad already knowing that someone at Baylor who's built this nice stadium, okay, right there on the highway like everything else. And now they're waving their arms at the Pac-12 and say, please, can we play? Please, you're going to love Waco. You really need Waco. It's such a big TV market. So same with Lubbock. What are you going to sell? The Buddy Holly statue again? I don't know what the best plan. I suspect the best plan for them going forward, and I think the Senate committee is now going to try to decide today, we got to keep all three of you together, and we got to start shopping. We got to start shopping right away. And I think they might have a lifeline, not in the Pac-12, but they might have a lifeline for a few more years, but the money is going to be cut in half, if not more. Big Brother left with all the money. So now they got to find a way. That's what this committee has to do today. I think this committee would be better spent. Time would be better spent. You don't even need a committee to do this. You need to bring in somebody with some marketing strategy to try to sell, God help you, sell Lubbock, Waco, and Fort Worth to somebody. You better be out. The Big 12 better be out trying to gather up programs to play in the state of Texas, because they're going to be left with trying to tell the Pac-12, well, we know you don't need these cities. You know, you don't like these cities. You don't care about these cities. But I'm sure you'd like to have high school football in the state of Texas as an option. That's their only sales pitch. It'll be nothing but bad news by 5 p.m. today.
From the Hot Pie Media Studios in Austin, Texas, it's the Jeff Ward Show. Listen at jeffwardshow.com.